सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति. We'll chant the fifth verse of Jivan Muktananda Lahari, Sudhaka.
Yep. Hari Om. Pure Pauran Pashyan Narayuvati Namakritimayan Suveshan Swarna Alankarana Kalitam Chitra Sadrshan Swayam Sakshi Drashte Tyapi Chakalayam Tai Saharaman Munirnavyamoham Bhajati Guru Diksha Kshatatama Vane Vrikshan Pashyan Dalabharabharan Namra Sushikhan Ghanachaya Channan Bahulakalakujad Dvijaganan Bhajan Ghasre Ratrau Avanitalatalpaika Shayano Munirnavyamoham Bhajati Guru Diksha Kshatatama Kadachit Prasade Kvachidapi cha Saudhe cha Dhavale Kada Kale Shaile Kvachidapi cha Kuleshu Saritam Kutire Dantanam Munijanavaranam Apivasan Munirnavyamoham Bhajati Guru Diksha Kshatatama Kvachit Balai Sardham Karatalajatalaischa Hasitaihi Kvachit Vaitarunyam Kitachaturanarya Saharaman Kvachit Vriddaischintam Kvachit Abhitadanyaischa Vilapan Munirnavyamoham Bhajati Guru Diksha Kshatatama.
We'll chant the fifth verse also, Sudhaka.
Kadachit vidvadbhir vividhasu puranandarasikai Kadachit kavyalam kritarasarasalai kavivarai Vadan vadam starkair Anumiti parais tarkikavarai Munirnavyamoham Bhajati Guru Diksha Kshatatama.
Time is going off. Bhagavan is giving us what do they call it? An introductory musical tone. So what does he say? Munir Vyamoham Bhajati Guru Dikshak Satatamaha. So Munir Vyamoham Bhajati. So this Muni, this Jivan Mukta, having his delusion removed, his ignorance, avidya removed, all his vasanas, all his desires, all his agitations, all his attachments, all his dependencies and notions from this world for happiness has been wiped out, because he comes to experience that his true nature is happiness, that Satchidananda, that Brahman, that infinite changeless existence, that infinite love, and he alone pervades this entire universe as the substratum, as the adhishtanam, and as through this individual body, mind, intellect, he is the illuminator, that Atma, who is separate from the body, mind, intellect, who is totally independent, but by his presence, the body, mind, intellect functions in the world outside and experiences different things. He, in that bliss, comes to experience this world, which is none other than himself. How does he function? He functions without any delusion. He knows that this is a hall of play, He knows that this is all part of a temporary game that is going on, and he is now coming into this world with this new vision. What is his experience? It is only pure joy. How does he relate? How does he do what he does? What does he do when he comes back into this world after this realization? Is now being explained in verse number 5 as Kada Chit Vitvadbir Vivida Suparananda Rasikaihi. Rasikaihi. What is this Rasikaihi? Rasikas. When Pushpama sings, she has many Rasikas. Many people who come to listen to her singing. When Rajkumar chants, many people come to listen to his chanting. Why? We have Rasikas. And then when the food, special Deepa's delights, when you go to eat her food, that people who like that gourmet taste, we all go towards that fine taste. This Jivan Mukta is Rasika of all things, not just taste, not just music, not just subtle pleasures of life. Everything he's a Rasika of. Why is he a Rasika of? Now you think about it. What are the things we have special affinity towards? Your grandchild drew a picture. Your 3-year-old draws a picture. A nice fat round ball. And put a little head on there. And comes and says, Grandmama, I did this for you. I thought of you and I drew a picture of you. Now you don't look anything like that. But what do you see there? You see the love of that child. That it has thought of grandmama. Right? Even though if anybody else had drawn such a picture, you would have given them one. But your grandchild is, and then you pin it up on your wall. And then whoever comes, shamelessly, because well, you look like a big pumpkin there in the picture, but you shamelessly, because out of that love that you have feeling for your grandchild, you tell him, see, look at my grandchild, look at what he drew. Of course, they seeing that, they think what your grandchild thinks you're a pumpkin. But you don't see that. You see that the love of your grandchild. Look at that Rasika that you just want to keep on talking about it. So here, Suparananda Rasika. Whether it is perfumes, ornamentations, right? Different types of tastes and subtle pleasures, right? This Jivan Mukta enjoys. Why does he enjoy? Because he's a Rasika. Rasika means what? He sees himself in all of that, and what a joy to see. Even when you get these albums and all that, no? When you go to a wedding and they take photos, and then you go to their houses to, visit after the marriage, and they say, see, our wedding album has come. Do you want to see? Do you want to see? You say, okay. And then you start looking. What are you looking for? Your own photo. So you quickly, and then you spend some time looking at one particular photo. Why? Your picture is there. Rasika. Oh, so nice picture. Maybe it should have been taken with this way. You're thinking in your head, you're not telling them. And then you notice that they're looking at you, that you're seeing more of that picture more. Or then you, and then another picture. Oh, this is very nice. So you're pretty much looking for the expressions of you only in everything. In the same way, the Jivan Mukta, everything is him only, no? So he's enjoying every expression that is there in this universe, because it is him who's expressing in different forms. So even he enjoys these rasikas, these food, or music, or here given as poetry, right? Whatever it is that wearing clothes, right? Matching clothes, etc. He's enjoying it. But the difference between he and me is what? All of us and him is what? He enjoys, but he knows that everything is only a temporary appearance. But you and I, what is our condition? When we start enjoying it, we get attached to it. And somebody just has to say something negative. What, that child has drawn that pumpkin, big round thing that looks nothing like you. Your child doesn't know how to draw. How insulted grandmothers get. But here, the realized one has no attachment. Because why? He sees everything as the expression of that Bhagavan, which is none other than his Atma only. Right? No addiction at all. He will never get addicted to anything. That's why you will see one of the Surdas, he goes and his disciples always imitate what the Guru does. So he was going and Guru said, these fellows are not thinking. And they're always pleasure, pleasure, pleasure. So one day he was going and some enemies of the Surdas came and they gave him some toddy alcohol, some sort of Indian alcohol for him to drink. So he drank. So students also said, Hare, my Guru is drinking. Let us also enjoy. So they also drank. And nothing happened to Surdas. He was very calm, collected. He kept going. But the students who drank it, they became intoxicated and fell down there, fell asleep, did whatever, intoxicated. So Guru said, aha, so these fellows are like this. They're trying to imitate me. Okay, went further. And there the enemy said, hey, nothing happened to the Surdas. So they immediately, pounded some iron filings and made powder out of it and put it in a glass of drink and gave it to him to drink. He drank it. The students knowing, hey, this is going to kill if they drink it, they did not drink. So Sudha said to the disciples, Arey, you also should drink that. Whatever I do, you should do, no. They said, no, but Guruji, we cannot because it will kill us. Then he said, what the toddy will do also. So for a Jivan Mukta, nothing can touch them. No addiction, no, nothing can happen. But for us who are so identified to this body, mind, intellect, we get addicted. So therefore, this great one, sometimes he enjoys the company of people, delighting in all types of ornamentation, perfumes, taste, sensual pleasure means subtle pleasures, right? Nothing, he does anything wrong, but in whatever he experiences, there is a sense of detachment. There is no attachment to it. There is no that I'm seeking pleasure in it. He's just enjoying it. How nice it is just to enjoy but not get attached to it. For all of us, whatever we taste and we like, it leaves an impression behind or not as vasana. But for him, there is no vasana. He's like a mirror. He always living in the present moment only. Whatever comes in front of him, he takes. But the moment he leaves that position, he lets it go also. And mirror is like that only. Whoever comes in front of the mirror, the reflection is seen. Exact reflection. And the moment the person goes away, reflection becomes empty. Right? So the realized one is like that, or he's like a mirror. He mirrors everything, enjoys that moment, but no attachment at all. One day, Gurudev, Swami Shrikarananda, was giving a talk on detachment. Detach. Right? And then all the students were all identifying, oh, we must all detach. Right? This whole world is miserable, the whole world is not good, etc. They created in the mind. Then Gurudev went to a house, a Madrasi house. Madrasi house means South Indian house. And there they can make nice South Indian coffee. And especially those coffee and tea that is metered coffee and tea, it's like what you all now call as cappuccino and stuff like that. But it tastes much better when you do it with that 1 meter flow. Right? And so Gurudev asked, Amma, you make that. So all the students were watching Gurudev. And then the tea had come or coffee had come. And, typical South Indian way of drinking. Not the Western way of drinking where no noise ever comes out. Right? And mouth gets burnt. Right? But, the Indian, slurping. In that way you blow. It sort of air blows that it keeps it cool also, and then you get that extra rasa also. And that the typical expression of drinking it, and he says, "Who said there is no joy, bliss in sensual sense objects?" And he kept on drinking. And students are all sitting and looking at each other. For the last 1 hour, he talked about detachment. One should not be dependent on all these. All these things will create only sorrow only. And then now he is telling who said there is no happiness in sense objects. And finally, Gurudev kept the cup. And he got up and he walked out. Now, students, especially young chicksters, they're always, they're looking at their sevak. Why didn't you ask something? They all start fighting with each other. Right? Why didn't you ask Gurudev what he said? All this time he's telling this, now the opposite thing he is doing. Then after a minute, Gurudev puts his head back in. So past the door and says, "Who said there is no joy in sense objects? But no, it is temporary." And he walked off. The difference between you and me and the Jivan Mukta is what? Jivan Mukta knows that everything is temporary. And if it is temporary, it is not going to give me anything permanent. The joy is in myself only. Enjoy the creation, but know that it is temporary. Know that the source of happiness is my true self. So abiding in the true self, you enjoy the expressions of the world. And everything is your expression only. So will you not enjoy your own expression? Enjoy it. But know it is temporary. So sometimes he enjoys the company of people, delighting in ornamentation and perfumes. If you go to Buddha Swamiji, he can tell you all about Chanel and all these different types of perfumes. And you wonder, what does sannyasi got to do with perfumes? Right? But he can tell you all different fragrances, he can tell you. Because why? Rasika. Then he can tell you all about different tastes. You go to Deepa's food, the gourmet cooking, and she has made some bhiksha for him. And then he will tell her, Deepa, this taste is there, but maybe you should add this to it. He'll give it extra taste. So, Rasika in taste. Then he comes and listens to Pushpa Amma singing. There, Rasika in music. Pushpa Amma, you just re-sing that song again. How, you can appreciate the subtleties. Each one of us may be expert in one area of Rasika. We may be. I'm not saying that we all are, right? But he is Rasika in all the things. Because why? Everything is appreciated by the one who is realized, because he sees everything as himself only. And he enjoys every aspect of it. So therefore, who truly enjoys the world? When can you really enjoy the world? When you have no expectation from the world. You live in the present moment. Every moment is a new moment. Then you and I can appreciate. But for most of us, every moment is not a new moment. Because why? We always have memory from the past which we bring to the present, and then we compare it. Pushpama has a bad throat and she starts singing for that day. And then Pushpama, your song today was not as good as yesterday. Instead of enjoying it, even though it was so divine, we imagine, last time was better. But a realized one enjoys it that moment. And that is why he's Rasika. I'm a Rasika of fried rice. It doesn't matter what type of way it is cooked or whatever. Because I like fried rice, any form of fried rice, Rasika. Because every fried rice is a different route. So your mind is living in that present, eating that, you feel it is. But if you compare it with something else, what will be the condition? You will never be able to enjoy anything. Because our mind is so attached to the past, or we are living to the anxiety of the future. or while we're excited in the present, we can never enjoy. One who has a calm mind, and that mind, why is it calm? Because it has no desires or no attachments or no expectations. And that mind, which is cheerful because of its own source of happiness, can really enjoy what is in front of it. So, therefore, we should be able to appreciate anything and everything for what it is. Even Ravana in a play, you can appreciate if you enjoy for the acting. If you sentimentally watch Ravana, then you want to give him one because he stole Sitaji and created all the problem. But when you can enjoy that acting skills, right? I remember when we had that play of Ravana, Ramayan of Prince of Power, the chicks did it. I applauded Ravana because he actually played the role so well, right? But a person who enjoys watching plays can appreciate. But one who goes there with some expectations, will not be able to enjoy. So, therefore, in life, if we want to enjoy anything, bring your mind to the present. Leave the past, leave the anxiety for the future, leave the excitement, and just be there. Most of us, when we're eating food, why we overeat or why we don't appreciate the food is because we're not there. Right? Everybody who cooks has a flavor that they put into the food. But did we know the different flavors? We know our mother's flavors. That's why we enjoy mother's cooking most, because all our life we've grown up with that only. From the time we were born till mother existed, we continued eating her food. So we've grown up with it, so we know. Because at that time, the first time we ate it, our mind did not have anything to expect. And mother's food only we ate. So therefore, we were able to appreciate and enjoy mother's food. All the time we can enjoy mother's food. But other people's food we don't enjoy because we're always comparing. So therefore, this Muni, this realized one, is able to appreciate, enjoy all subtleties because their mind is there and know that the source of joy is their own nature. They're not dependent on anything. And because they're not dependent on anything and they've got nothing to gain or nothing to lose, they're able to enjoy. It's when we have something to gain or lose out of it, we will not be able to enjoy. Right? I always use that example of singing because I love listening to Pushpama singing. Right? Not that I'm blowing a horn or anything, but I just do. Right? So when I listen to her, I go into my own. I become in that present moment because I enjoy it. But we must be able to enjoy this in everything. Bring that mind to where your hands are. For that, no expectation, no notions. You should be able to smell that rose and enjoy that rose, that beautiful fragrance without comparing it. Then you will really enjoy the rose. But most of us are talking about other things that we're not even able to smell it. See, every moment that Jivan Mukta is a new moment for him because he is living in the present. And everything the source is, he's truly. He never forgets that. Sometimes he enjoys the literary beauty and sentiments expressed in poetry. He's able to listen to poetry, he listen to songs. You know how many Hollywood songs, Bollywood songs or Collywood songs or Tollywood songs or whichever songs are there, the old songs. We say, what are all these love songs these people listen to and all that. But if only you can turn that attention towards and remember that all of these songs, this love that we are getting is from Bhagavan only. Now imagine what is that joy we'll get. Every love song we sing to somebody else, but the love that we get from listening to, remembering Bhagavan and turning this song towards him. So therefore, he writes poetries and he listens to poetries. He indulges in talking about poetries. He even talks about politics also. People ask him politics also. But the thing is, he's never going to get into any argumentation with anybody. He just enjoys. He talks about it. He seems like an ordinary person like us. Hmm? Because he's more ordinary than all of us, more normal than all of us. But the thing is, he has no attachment to anything. Hmm. So, therefore, sometimes he enjoys the company of the people delighting in ornamentation and perfumes. Sometimes he enjoys the literary beauty and sentiments expressed in poetry of great poets. At other times, he engages himself in arguments with logicians. Hmm. So sometimes he looks like and just sings along and just enjoys just being simple. And other times he's talking logic and reason for those people who want logic. What we have to understand is, depending on the situation, that great master expresses. As I told you, the mirror. Right? So when there needs to be an argumentation, he will discuss with them and give reasons and logic. Where the bhakta doesn't need anything, he will tell stories and he will enjoy the leelas of Bhagavan. Right? Why he is able to do all this? Whether he spends time with people who are looking at subtle pleasures of life and talks about that and enjoys with them, or he is able to talk about poetry, or he's able to enjoy nature, or he's able to give arguments to logicians, or he spends time with bhaktas. He's able to do all of these things and enjoy all of these things because he's got no attachment. Hmm? Because he sees everything as nothing but the Lord. Who is that Lord, that Atma in himself? Right? So therefore he doesn't get attached to anything, but yet he enjoys everything. What a nice way to live our life, right? So Guruji says that when we talk about Jivan Mukta and Jivan Mukta's Leelas, one should revel in remembering, what a way to we can live our life, right? Because without all these past, present excitements and future anxieties, without all this baggage, just enjoy. Just sing for the sake of singing. It doesn't matter whether the people are going to listen to you and criticize you or not. You sing because that is what God has given you. God is expressing through you. You speak not because people are going to appreciate you or not. You speak in listening to what Bhagavan is speaking through you. You dance because Bhagavan is dancing through you. Look at that glory. Then we will enjoy. But our ego is such that it doesn't want to allow us. Oh, but what happens when people say like that? What happens if people criticize? How does it matter? One person will praise, other person will criticize. Right? That is the ego. Right? But who am I? I am Brahman. So therefore, he says, Munir Vyamoham Bhajati Guru Sakshat Tatatamaha. Right? So therefore, but the sage whose ignorance has been dispelled by the teachings of his teacher never gets deluded. Taponji Maharaj, I remember the story. Taponji Maharaj and Gurudev were standing in front of the Himalayan in Uttarakashi and looking at the mountains. And Gurudev had asked Taponji Maharaj, what is detachment and what is attachment? And Taponji Maharaj looked at the mountain and said, isn't it beautiful? And Gurudev said, yes, it is. Then Taponji Maharaj said, do you want to take it home? And Gurudev said, what? Take the mountain home? He said, how can I take it home? But he said, you enjoyed it, right? Looking at it, the beauty. And Gurudev said, yes. So Taponji Maharaj said, when you can enjoy something without possessing it, that I want to take it home for myself, is called detachment. Enjoy the world, but don't get addicted to it. Don't feel that I want it for myself. Don't become possessive. This sense of possessiveness is what binds us. Right? Enjoy the world, but don't get attached to it. And he who is such a person that can enjoy the world without attachment is one who knows that the Lord, that happiness is in his own heart. And it is this all the glory of Bhagavan. Further, he continues in verse number 6, Sudhaka.
Kada dhyanabhyasaihi क्वचिदपि सपर्यां विकसितैः सुगन्धैः सत्पुष्पैः क्वचिदपि दलैरेव विमलैः प्रकुर्वन् देवस्य प्रमुदितमनः संस्तुतिपरो मुनिर्न व्यामोहं भजति गुरुदीक्षाक्षततमाः.
Most of our problem is what? That when we see, even in the previous one, we said that you listen to poetry. Listen to poetry, somebody's written a poetry, enjoy it. But suddenly that ego comes, I can write better than that person. Or, if only I can write like them. Why are you, if Bhagavan has not given you that ability to do, just enjoy it, no? Or some person comes and talks about your grandchild, their grandchild. My grandchild did like this. Instead of enjoying that leela of that grandchild, of that person, you immediately inject your own. No, my grandchild also does like that only. No, why? This is called the ego. So therefore, this ego comes in and destroys all joy. So always try to enjoy for what it is in front of you. Don't bring all these attachments to it. So now he says, sometimes this Muni is in meditation. Meditation on what? Nirguna. Nirguna Brahman. Means formless Brahman, he is in meditation. And sometimes, with a cheerful mind, he worships Bhagavan. With a cheerful mind, he worships Saguna Brahman. Right? He starts offering flowers, nicely decorating Bhagavan, right? With fresh leaves and fresh flowers, and he sings his praises. See, when we look at our own lives itself, some of us can meditate, and some of us can like to do puja. But how many of us can do both? So this we have to see. And then those of us who do puja also, how many of us are so involved in doing the puja that actually Bhagavan is sitting there and you are actually doing the puja for him? See, many times we are doing puja, but our mind is not there. We come to our Ram Parivar and all that. How many of us actually feel Bhagavan is standing there? How many of us feel Gurudev is sitting there in those padukas? Observe silence. How many people observe silence? In that room only we start talking. Means what? We actually don't believe that God is there. The moment we start feeling Bhagavan is there, you actually start gaining that joy of Bhagavan. We start seeing the beauty of Bhagavan there. But the problem is we are so attached in our own little worlds that we are never involved completely in that. It's like doing a chore. When you do, you have to do some housework and you really don't want to do it. How you feel? Like puja becomes a chore only. But when you actually believe that Bhagavan is there when you're doing the puja, Bhagavan will reveal himself to us. There are many stories that we hear from the Puranas, Shiva Purana, etc. How that devotee felt that Bhagavan was there. And Bhagavan himself appeared in that form to him. Right? So therefore, do we get involved in that puja? Completely. In feeling that Bhagavan is sitting there. Because obviously, Bhagavan is there. Because Bhagavan is everywhere. So he's there in that murti also. So therefore, some people may do puja, and in that may also they are not involved. If you watch Guruji's, whenever Guruji does puja for Gurudev, when he was doing the Abhishek in the Pratima in Gurudev's Mahasamadhi Sthal in Siddhabari, he was doing Abhishek for Gurudev, and accidentally that little cup touched Gurudev, and Guruji was so upset that he had accidentally touched the statue of Gurudev, and he was like, throughout the rest of the time, he only pretty much had tears in his eyes as he was doing Abhishek for Gurudev. Because it's like, if the person is there, you accidentally knock their head, how will you feel? Right? So you felt, he's done such a great mistake. Not that Gurudev would have got angry with him or anything, but that feeling when you do the Abhishek that Bhagavan is actually there. Gurudev is actually there. Because he is there. But unless you feel it, you will not know it. So therefore, whenever we do any puja for the Lord, we must bring our body, mind, intellect into that puja. Therefore, it becomes meditation on the form. Right? Because we can't meditate on the formless. A form is given to us physically. Then from physical form, we go to mental form to do mental puja. Then from there, we go to the formless. But that puja itself, we must believe. So therefore, when you give the Lord a wipe and all that, it's as though you're giving your grandchild a wipe or your baby a wipe. You must really feel it. Then only that puja becomes worthwhile done. Otherwise, it's just a ritual that I have to do it, what to do, I have to do. Right? So, single point, nothing should. That's why it said once the puja starts, exclusively only for Bhagavan. So, here, this Muni, whether he is in meditation, in Nirguna in Nirguna meditation, Brahman, or he is in Saguna worship of Bhagavan in that form, how does he worship him? With total dedication and total love. It's not like people say, these people who do meditation, they're lazy fellows. They just go there and sleep in meditation only. And then the meditation people who do meditation, these puja, people who do puja are useless fellows. Puja, 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 and never ends also. Keeps on going. Right? But this person, this Jivan Mukta, whatever he does in the world outside is a worship of Bhagavan. And what he does in the seat of meditation is reveling in that Brahman only. At all times, he is reveling in that infinite bliss because everything is nothing but him. So, therefore, when he does, whether it is puja or whether it is meditation, he is reveling in both. So, therefore, everything he does is a bliss only. Everything he does is out of love only. So, therefore, whether he does puja or whether he does meditation, for him, both is equally important. One is not better than the other. Everything is in worship of that, remembrance of that infinite. Total involvement, and total involvement cheerfully. So this is what we have to understand. And so who does he do puja to? So we have other problem also, no? Because many of us have a parliament available. Which God should I worship every day? So therefore now in verse 7, Sudhaka. Sudhaka, verse 7.
Yeah. Shivaya Shambhorva Kvachidapi cha Vishnorapi kada Ganadhyakshasyapi Prakatatapanasyapi cha kada Pathan vai namalim Nayanarachitananda salilo Munirnavyamoham Bhajati Guru Diksha Kshatatama.
So sometimes with his eyes filled with tears of joy, he chants the name of goddess Parvati. Here Shivayaha can mean, and Shambho means Devi Parvati and Lord Shiva. So he is able to, with full of tears of joy. It's not like fake tears. That he's with tears pouring out of his eyes with joy. He chants the names of Goddess Devi and Parvati, Goddess Parvati and Lord Shiva. Sometimes he worships the Lord Vishnu And he sings the glories of Lord Vishnu. Sometimes Lord Ganesha. Sometimes the Lord Sun. Here, Panchayatana Puja has been indicated. Shankaracharya, what he did is that because there were, in Hinduism we have said, no, there are about 330 million forms of God is there, approximately. So Shankaracharya, because it was creating a lot of confusion, he brought all of those forms into 5. And said they all fit into these 5 types of deities, avatars of these deities. Whether it is Devi, Shivji, Lord Vishnu, Lord Ganeshji, and the Sun, Lord Sun. Lord Sun, we don't see many worshippers of Lord Sun, other than we do the Gayatri Puja, we do the Gayatri Sandhya Vandan and all that. But otherwise, we don't see special devotees of Lord Sun. So in some places they say it is Lord Muruga only because in South India, Lord Muruga, Lord Skanda is worshipped. But this 5 has been given. So why is that we are told this? Because each one of us, when we worship, we get identified to our deity or not. My Rama, my Krishna. No, what Krishna and Rama? My Ganesha. Right. And then in Krishna also, my Krishna means in Krishna, I only will worship baby Krishna. Krishna never grew up. Right? How much we have different sentiments that we have, that we also become very close-minded to the fact that everything is nothing but God in different forms. So therefore, whether it is Lord Ganesha or Lord Vishnu or Lord Sun or Devi, how does it matter? It is all God appearing in different forms. So this knowledge that this Jivan Mukta has means that experience of that Brahman as himself and that same Brahman everywhere. What is his identification? His identification is that all is nothing but that one Lord. So whether he worships Lord Vishnu or Lord Shiva, it's the same infinite only shining. So therefore Advaitis, there's always these different schools of thought. Advaitis, Dvaitis, Vashishta Dvaitis, etc. Right? Advaiti has no problem with anybody. Because why? Everything is nothing but that one truth expressing as the many. But when we are worshipping that Lord, we become so attached to our Lord that we think that all other Lords are bad, all other forms are terrible. And we create this distinction between my God and your God. How can there be my God and your God? There's only God. Right? So therefore, this one who has gotten dispelled his ignorance by this knowledge given by his Guru, he comes to see that all are nothing but that one infinite truth only. So he has no distinction and hence no insistence that the form has to be like this. Some temples you go, this priest of this temple will not come to this priest of this temple. The Shaivite temple priest will not come to the Vaishnavite side priest, and the Vaishnavite will never come to the Shaivite side. It happened in Austin, Sydney only. Right? And all we can do is laugh at it. Why? Because it is that one Lord only. If I say I love God, whether it is my God or your God, how does it matter? If I say I love God, isn't that God loving everybody? And if God loves everybody, how can I have hatred towards anybody? If I'm truly a practitioner of worship of my God, my Ishta Devata, how can I have hatred? Because worship of God should give me love. And in love, should I not love everybody? And you think about it. Did God discriminate people? We really think about it. God gives us life as the Atma. Does God have any hatred towards anybody? Even the fellow who says that there is no God, the atheist, who gave him the power to say it? Who gave him the power? God only. So if God has given Even the fact for you to say there is no God, God only gave him the power. So can God actually have hatred in him? And if God has no hatred in him and only love, how come me as a bhakta have hatred in other bhaktas of other gods? So this is something we have to think about. Fight, that religion, and again, not only between our own different forms of gods, other religions also. We should never have hatred towards anybody. If I really truly love my God, I will have no hatred to anybody. Even to that extent, Rama had no hatred towards Ravana. That's why even on that last day, before Ravana died, Rama having shut down everything of Ravana, he says, Ravana, I give you one more opportunity. And again, Ravana came to fight. And when he kills Ravana also, what did Ravana get? Ravana got blessing only. Right? And look at the love of Rama, that when Vibhishana had come across to Bharat, having been sent away by Ravana to come, Vibhishana comes. And Bhagavan Rama presents him makes him sit next to him. And then he says, Vibhishana, I give you the kingdom of Lanka. Right? No. Rama has not won Lanka yet. Ravana is not dead yet. So then somebody asked him, Bhagavan, how can you give Lanka to Vibhishana? Because Ravana is still there. And what happens if Ravana comes and surrenders at your feet? You can't go back on your word. And Lanka belongs to Ravana. So Bhagavan says, if Ravana surrenders to me, I will give him Ayodhya. Look at that love Bhagavan has. Even to that fellow who has stolen his wife and done all natak for the creation. But look at the love God has. And we as bhaktas, so-called bhaktas, have hatred towards others. And Bhagavan has no hatred. So therefore, Jivan Mukta is none other than Bhagavan expressing. So that Jivan Mukta has only love in the heart. So whether it is Devi Puja, whether it is Shiva Puja, whether it is Lord Vishnu Puja, whether it is Lord Ganesha Puja, whether it is Lord Sun Puja, in total love and dedication and joy, he does that puja and worship. He sees everything as himself. He sees everything as that Lord. Because why? He has that experience. Because by the grace of his Guru, the knowledge he has gained, the ignorance has dispelled, he has come to establish in that Brahman. He comes to understand that everything is Brahman alone. So therefore, such great masters, how do they live in this world? They don't insist this is the way something should be. They don't become obsessive. Totally detached. But whatever they do it with love, do it with happiness, do it for the welfare of the creation, to uplift everybody. And one who knows this absolute truth understands that all of these things are only an appearance on that absolute truth only. And having this vision of oneness, one never gets disturbed by whatever happens in the appearance. And everything is seen as Leela of Bhagavan only. See, one who understands one's true nature, one who understands oneself. Say, for instance, you go and act in a drama. You go and act in a drama and you act like a king. But you are a beggar, a poor person. You're a normal person. You go and work as act as a king. Now, in that role play, what do? You command everybody to do this and that. Now, with that attitude, when you come back and you command everybody in your house, will they listen to you? Right? You command anybody on the street, will anybody listen to you? No. Because why? But you have this notion, I was a king. We get caught. But the Jivan Mukta, in a play, you don't have this problem because you know that you are only doing a role play. But if you got attached to that role and you come home and you do it, people will abuse you. In the same way, the Jivan Mukta is playing a role in the world. He's coming to take up different aspects to play. So when he plays in this role, he knows that it is a role play that is happening. It's only a drama that is played. So when you're playing a drama, how should you act in the play? You should play well. You should be the best actor in the play. With emotions and sentiments and all that should be played or not. But in the back of your mind, what should you remember? It's only a play. Right? But you and I, even though we've come on stage to play this role as Swamiji and somebody Shobha Amma as mother of two children, right? Lalita Amma as grandmother, you all come to play a role, but in that playing a role, we forget that we are the Atma and we get caught in the role and we think the role is real. Whereas Jivan Mukta knows that he is playing a role, but his real nature is Sachidananda Brahman. So unattached, he plays in that joy. So we have to keep remembering this, that we are getting attached, we become insistent, we become obsessive because we think that happiness is here and in this situation. But the Jivan Mukta understands the source of happiness is by true nature. I don't depend on all of this for my existence, but I'm only playing a role. Because why? My Guru has given me this knowledge, this experience of that Brahman. Further in verse 8. So, what happens when he functions in the world outside? When he meets different situations? He plays, he enjoys, he has no attachment to the world. So, now some examples are given of how his life is so simple. Because we make our life so complicated. His life is very simple. So, now let us look at verse number 8.
कदा गङ्गाम्भोभिः क्वचिदपि च कूपोत्थितजलैः क्वचित् कासारोत्थैः क्वचिदपि सदुष्णैश्च शिशिरैः भजन् स्नानैर्भूत्या क्वचिदपि च कर्पूरनिभया मुनिर्नव्यामोहं भजति गुरुदीक्षाक्षततमाः.
So this Munir, who has got no ignorance, no delusion, who knows his true nature, how does he live in this world? So here he's going to talk about how he takes bath. Taking bath? Yeah, before he talked about how to do puja, how to do meditation, how to deal with people and tastes and rasikas he was, and before that how he, with little children he played with, and was like a child. When he was with elders, he played a role like that, right? With logicians, how he argued. With people who are simple, he was very simple, right? With a madman, he was mad, looking, not that he was mad, but he played the role, right? So like that, now it comes to when he takes bath. And how many people are so attached to this bath, taking shower? I used to know somebody that used to take 1 hour shower. I don't understand how you can take 1 hour shower. I mean, if it doesn't go in 5 minutes, it's not going to go. Right? 1 hour, somebody takes shower. Oh. And not that they're singing songs and all that are wasting time. Just literally taking shower. Oh. And how many people, if you go to their bathrooms only, you see how many different varieties of shampoo and body wash and, after wash, before wash, conditioner, unconditioner. I don't know what all available. But so much is available. Bottles after bottles. What do you people do? Drink it or what? Right? And not cheap stuff, expensive stuff. Right? So what is the condition of this Mahatma, this Jivan Mukta? Kada Ganga Bovir Kovachidapika Cha. So what is he saying? So Gangam Bobihi. Sometimes he takes bath in the Ganga. or holy Ganga, whenever he is traveling and he goes to Gangaji, he takes bath. Sometimes he takes water in the well. Those of you who have lived in villages and all that, you would have known there's a well is there and how tasty well water is also. How you take well water. Sometimes he takes water in the bath in the lake. Sometimes in cold water. Sometimes in hot water. Sometimes no water available. What does he do? He takes ash and puts it all over his body. I think long time ago in ladies retreat, we did a text called Sadachar. I don't know how many of you attended that ladies retreat. There they also said mud bath is also available. And different types of bath is available. It depends on the situation. Right? The main purpose of bath is what? To become clean, to feel fresh. Right? To clean the dirt from your body. Isn't that the purpose of it? Very simple purpose or not? Yeah. So therefore, as long as we remember that this is what the purpose is, how you take bath, how does it matter? It is said that some Pitadipadis, not that I want to pull their leg or anything, but right, they have certain rules that they must only take bath in Ganga water. Now, if you have to take bath in Ganga water, but you live in South India, how to take bath? So they have to import Ganga Jal to South India to take bath. What an expensive affair, right? Because they have certain anushtanam, certain rituals, etc. that they have, right? Or some people have this vow that they must take only bath in well water. Now, if you go to a town or city, there is no well, what to do? So they have to dig well so that they can take well water bath. And some people, hot water only I must take bath. Now, someplace no hot water available. Those of you who went to Kailash Yatra or Chardham Yatra, up in Kedarnath, there is no hot water. Ice only you will get. And even if you make hot water, by the time it comes to your room, it becomes cold water anyway. Right? No, Swamiji, I don't take cold water bath. And then some people, I only take cold water bath. Insistence. So, what we have to understand is, yes, we must have certain disciplines, and discipline is necessary, no doubt. But this obsession creates problem for you and for other people. Right? See, you must have discipline. Anushtaram, certain things you must do. But in certain times you cannot follow. So what is the spirit behind why you have decided to do? Right? We have to understand this. So therefore, if you have taken that I have to take well water bath only, but there is no well available, the spirit behind it is that you have to be clean. So whatever water is there, you take bath. That's why our rishis are so fantastic. They must have known that we are going to travel around the world or travel around India everywhere. So therefore they say, what, when you take shower under the shower, you remember Gangaji. Gange Yamune Cheva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jales Vinsannidin Kuru, invoke. Because why? All waters are connected or not somehow or the other. Huh? So Ganga water only comes into the ocean. All different rivers come into the ocean or not. And that ocean only evaporates and becomes water to Australia. So therefore, Gangaji is there also, just remembering her, you take bath. Where there's Gangaji there, you take Ganga bath, no doubt. Where hot water is available, take hot water bath. If there is no hot water, take cold water bath. Why? What is the insistence that it has to be hot water or cold water? So we have to understand, the point here is that one needs to be flexible. In spirituality, flexibility is very important. Yes, we must follow our disciplines, but in that discipline, we must understand the spirit of the discipline. And at times you have to be flexible. So therefore, sometimes he baths in the Ganga, sometimes in the water well, sometimes he takes bath in the lake, sometimes hot water or cold water. Yet at other times, he puts ashes all over his body and looks white. Right? No problem. Why he has no problem? Because he is Atma. Atma is ever pure. Right? So he doesn't have any problem in which way he takes bath. Or that day he cannot take bath also. Especially when you go to Chardham and all that. Sometimes you're stuck. You can't take bath anywhere. All you have is one bottle of water. You wash your face at least. That much you can do. Right? You can't do anything else. Right? So therefore you must understand that the situation you're in, and one who doesn't get disturbed is one who understands that the Atma is ever pure, and that pure Atma never needs to get cleaned. That doesn't mean you don't clean yourself. It just shows that you can be flexible. Hmm? So follow the discipline where you can, but at times please understand the spirit, right? And function accordingly. Right? And it's not out of laziness. See, we this flexibility is only out when we are in such situations. Don't suddenly say, "Oh no, Swamiji, you have told no, so therefore I will not take bath now." Because Atma is ever pure. But do you have that realization you are Atma? For the welfare of everybody around, one should take bath. One should take clean. But in situations where you can't, then you have to be flexible. I remember when we were studying in the ashram, our class at 5 o'clock in the morning, a meditation class. And sometimes a late night program is there. We go to programs and stuff, and then we come back, and then we have to we were studying in the ashram in Sandipani, right? So some students actually the alarm clock does not go up, and then what do they have to do? They suddenly wake up and realize there are only 2 minutes left before class. So what do? Puju, tie their lungi and everything, and then no bath taken, no. So immediately take vibhuti. They have the big pot of vibhuti, put all and the hand and everything, as though we have taken bath. It is not like that. It's only when in such difficult situation you can take holy ash bath. Means clean. A method of cleansing. So what we have to understand is one needs to be flexible with their discipline, means flexible but know the spirit of the discipline and apply. Because otherwise you say, Swami, you are telling not to take bath, right? But I don't feel like I can't take bath. If I don't take bath, I can't do any of my sadhanas. This is called inflexibility. Because sometimes you have to. You're flying on the aeroplane. What are you going to do? And especially when you took the Air India from Sydney to India, 12 hours, where's the bathroom they've given? So you don't do your sadhana on the plane or what? Right? So at that time you remember Bhagavan and do your sadhana. Right? Because wash your hands and wash your mouth and start. Because you don't have that opportunity to take bath. So therefore sometimes you have to be flexible. So this Jivan Mukta, for him it matters not where he takes bath. He knows that he is pure. But in whichever circumstance, in that way he picks up that bath and takes that bath. Okay, further. Some people have this thought, and I think I've also asked Gujjar Swamiji and Gujjar Guruji and Gurudev, we've always thought, right, that these Jivan Muktas, I think they don't sleep. Because in the middle of the night they get WhatsApp messages, sometimes they get, you get emails from them, right? So we think, these Mahatmas don't sleep. So the question is asked, does Jivan Mukta sleep or not? Does Jivan Mukta dream or not? Does Jivan Mukta go into deep sleep? Now, what is Jivan Mukta's condition? So now let us see. Verse number 9. What is the condition of the Jivan Mukta?
कदाचित् जागृत्यां विषयकरणैः संव्यवहरन् कदाचित् स्वप्नस्थान् अपि च विषयानेव च भजन् कदाचित् सौषुप्तं सुखमनुभवन्नेव सततं मुनिर्न व्यामोहं भजति गुरुदीक्षाक्षततमाः.
With this taking bath also, we have to remember that, we change clothes also. Right? Sometimes you can't change clothes. You have to wear the same clothes, especially yatras. Right? How much drama we get when we go on yatra because those people have to change clothes. How many suitcases come? Those of you who travel yatra with me, people who can't even carry their own bag, full of clothes only. 20 kilos, they allow 20 kilos full of clothes. Not that we're going to renounce those clothes in India. We'll bring it back also. And on top of that, we'll buy more things also. And then you tell it that, please bring minimal clothes. No, but Swamiji, I can't. Inflexibility. Right? So according to the situation, you must follow. And then on top of that, not only the clothes, but matching earrings and armlet, everything matching. That also comes in the yatra. Are Baba, for once you don't put chandan on your forehead, how does it matter? Right? Everything is weight only. Yeah. That is why Bhagavan was Shankaracharya was we were so blessed that way that he gave us manasik puja also. Because at times you can't do. Right? Obviously, the whole idea should become manasik only. But at times physical puja is not possible. So therefore in your mind you can do. So in your mind you can put chandan or not. Right? You can't. So therefore one should not become obsessed. This is called obsession. That I can't live without this. So therefore, flexibility is necessary. We should not create problem for others and should not create problem for me to do my sadhana. Right? I have to live. So flexibility is necessary. Discipline where I can, I must follow. Otherwise, the spirit is necessary. The spirit of the discipline. What is the purpose of this discipline? So now, the Muni, the Jivan Mukta, what is his condition in the waking state? Now, if you watched Bujja Gurudev, Bujja Guruji, Bujja Swamiji, these are the masters that were very close to all of us, that we've seen and experienced. Constantly they're acting in the world or not? Through their BMI and senses, they're responding, they're receiving the knowledge, receiving the perception. All activities are going on or not? So waking state, they're doing all that. So we see that also. And in dream state, Shankaracharya says, while in dream state, he experiences the dream objects. Oh, so Jivan Mukta experiences the dream also. So he acts and functions in that waking world. And also he dreams also. Swamiji. Then how come Jivan Mukta is different from me? He also, waking world, does everything. In dream also dreams. Then, how about his deep sleep? There must be some difference on it. Yeah, he goes to deep sleep also. So in waking world, dream and deep sleep world, he experiences. So what is the difference between him and me? Because we're always trying to find, maybe there's a connection between me and the Jivan Mukta. So it is true. He is waking, in his waking state, he's fully alert and transacting with the BMI and the world. And in dream, he dreams. And in deep sleep, he sleeps. So how is he different to me? Now, let us analyze. In our dream, what do we dream? What is the quality of our dream? And what is the quality of his dream? And is it that we always dream? We don't always dream. So they also can dream. It's not that they must dream. They can dream. But whatever their dream is, what is the quality of their dream? If you all remember back to the dream you had last night, you know what is the quality of your mind only. If they dream, what will they dream? Only for the welfare or totality they will dream. But you and I can dream everything. Some funny dreams sometimes we have. So therefore the difference between Jivan Mukta and us is that even if they can dream, they only dream for the totality, welfare of the totality. But you and I can dream for selfishness and desires coming through, etc. So the quality of dream is different. In deep sleep state, we all sleep or not? Now, what is the condition in our deep sleep state? In our deep sleep state, we are lost in it. And we think that ananda, the bliss that we gain from that deep sleep state, belongs to the deep sleep state. But the Jivan Mukta understands that that ananda that you get in deep sleep state is his own ananda only. Means he's awake to his nature even in deep sleep state. You and I in deep sleep state is ignorant of it. It's only after we wake up, oh, I felt really good. But he is totally aware of his deep sleep state. Means he knows that that ananda is his only, not anybody else's ananda. It's not because of the state of experience that ananda is there. It is his own nature. And what is his experience through all three states of experience? The waking, dream, and deep sleep. One must understand that for him, all the three states of experience are the same only. One is not greater than the other. All states, whether it's waking, dream, or deep sleep, they are all in the same power only. But for us, which is more superior? Waking state is the superior. Dream, okay. Deep sleep we need, but we hardly get. But the most important for us is our waking state. That's why we keep coming back to enjoy the world. In dream, we have no control. In deep sleep, we've gone. We don't even, body, mind, intellect doesn't seem to exist. So only in waking world. But for the Jivan Mukta, all three states are equal only. How is it equal? So we look at a story of Janak Maharaj. I hope you all know Janak Maharaj. Janak Maharaj, Sitaji's father, was a Jivan Mukta. One day, Janak Maharaj was sitting in his palace and he was watching this dance recital going on. It must have been quite boring, I don't know. He fell asleep. Right? And he dreamt that he was a butterfly flying around in the garden. In Mithila garden, he was flying around. Then after some time, he woke up and he saw the dance going on. So Janak Maharaj was a bit confused. So he asked his guru, Ashtavakra Rishi, who was sitting there. He said, Guruji, am I the butterfly who thinks I am dreaming and think I am the king? Or am I the king and I dreamt that I was a butterfly? Which is real? So the guru looked at Janak Maharaj and said, both is unreal only. Both is a illusion only. Because who are you? You are Brahman. So all three states of experience is only an illusion. This jiva goes through. But what is truth is Brahman only. The substratum in which all these three states of experiences, all this entire creation, even the body, mind, intellect, everything is born, maintained, and dissolves back into that infinite. It's only an appearance. So for this Jivan Mukta, he understands that all of this is the same only. It is only an illusion. It is neither going to give me happiness, neither going to give me sorrow. It is only a game. It is being played. Let me enjoy and play the game. But what is the difference between you and me and Jivan Mukta? Jivan Mukta, as we've already said, has no raga and dvesha, no likes and dislikes. All his senses are under control. And mind is ever peaceful. Because why is it peaceful? Because there's nothing to gain or lose from the world. Because I am that happiness. I illumine all states of experiences. I am the Sakshi of the three states of experience. I am the illuminator of the three states of experience. I am separate from the three states of experience. I am the true self. That I am the truth. Everything else around me comes and goes.